this regard, government has taken into account the necessary steps towards attaining such lofty goals. We have improved access to agricultural farmlands, whereby the Ministry of Agriculture has allocated 2,609 acres of farmlands at Kadawa, Jalmambaka, Bunkuri, Dangora, Dansosha, and Ambata for the cultivation of maize, rice, sorghum, millet, etc., etc. Agricultural inputs, government has provided 210 trucks of fertilizer, assorted seeds, agrochemicals, and extension services to 5,400 smallholder commercial farmers under the KSADP SSA Value Chain Cooperation. The ministry has also vaccinated 912,079 cattle and small ruminants against contagious CBPP and pest-defective PPR diseases. On irrigation, let me say that irrigation, government has provided 445 hectares of irrigatable land up and downstream of Watari irrigation project in Bagwai local government area, and an additional 555 hectares at Kapinchire Dam in Garko local government area under the KSADP program. In addition, government has constructed 7.8 kilometers of concrete irrigation and canal network, 12 kilometers of field drains, intake and various hydraulic structures at Jalmambaka irrigation scheme, and 3.25 of concrete irrigation canal network, 7-kilometer field drain, intake and various hydraulic structures at Bunkuri irrigation scheme under the Agricultural Transformation Agenda Support Program. Phase 1. Also in progress is the reconstruction of 2 million cubic liters capacity Gapan Earth Dam in Bunkuri LIBC under ATASP number 1. On livestock, let me say that livestock has also been given a deserved attention by the present administration. 20 animal slaughterhouses have been upgraded at 20 locations in 20 local government areas with provisions of facilities like solar power, boreholes, reticulations, meat cooling freezers, animal isolation pen, and perimeter fencing. Government has also given attention to the development of 3,000 hectares at Anzosha Grazing Reserve through the Agricultural and Development Authority, NADA. Government was also able to plant 3,000 hectares furthers for communal and individual grazing. 25-kilometer perimeter fencing. On this also, construction of ice dams, construction of nomadic school, market, veterinary clinics, as well as construction of boreholes were all undertaken under the present administration. On infrastructural development, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, it is our plan also to decongest the city and ease transportation problems for our people across the state. In this regard, government has embarked on construction of rural roads and urban settlements, some of which include continuation of overhead steel pedestrian bridges at Kurna Babalai, Kurna Makaranta, and Kandahar at the cost of 117,415,957 naira 66 kobo. In continuation of the construction also of Panshekara roundabout, the dualization of Sana Abacha Youth Center, Madovi Bridge Road, at the cost of 1,510,602,797 naira 18 kobo. Expansion of Zaria Road at the cost of 5,396,914,643 naira 82 kobo. Construction of access roads at the State Ultramodern Specialist Hospital Gidinyu at the cost of 91,164,805 naira 91 kobo. Continuation completion of 5-kilometer roads across the 44 local government areas of the state. Construction of Pandahamdullahi Al-Basu at the cost of 6,904,210,744 naira 73 naira. Pandahamdullahi Al-Basu Sokwen Duzi. On Rogo Bari Mahangi Road, we mark the sum of 13,350,209,134.89 kobo. Counterpart funding in respect of maintenance and rural roads, upgrade and agro-logistics centers interventions under rural access and agricultural project RAM at the sum of 3,220,164 naira 226 kobo. Furthermore, government is committed to the construction of the Taludu Interchange Global Lake Flyover, which will cost the sum of 12,883,467 naira 1,350 naira, while the construction of Dang Agundi Interchange Flyover and underpass will gulf the sum of 15,974,357,203 naira. Commerce and industry. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, commerce and industry remain the economic identity of Kano, and government will not relent in its effort in supporting commercial activities and industrial development. This informed our decision to allocate the sum of 3,887,338,871.45 billion naira to the sector within the year under review, as a result of which various projects and programs have been undertaken. Presently, government has reinvigorated 5 of the previous abandoned garment cluster industries across the 44 local government areas of Kibia, Madobi, Kura, and Dambata. And in order to prevent chaos that might arise in the course of the elections of leadership positions in various markets in Kano State, government has deployed all necessary mechanisms that resulted to maintaining peace and harmonious relations, elections, and general operations of market across the state. The government is also set to construct a modern abattoir through a private-public partnership arrangement in selected locations in the state. I wish to assure you that government has put in place a robust plan to secure a small and medium enterprise loan for our teeming businessmen and industrialists. On tourism and culture, Mr. Speaker, tourism sector has been classified as one of the paramount sources of internal revenue. Government will therefore continue to undertake programs and activities aimed at boosting tourism and enhancing cultural aspirations of our people. In so doing, our administration has in the outgoing fiscal year reviewed the Edict of History and Culture Bureau, which has been in use for over 35 years. This is to reposition the Bureau to meet international best practices and give room for inclusion of many current realities. Mr. Speaker, relevant stakeholders have also been engaged in the restructuring processes of the Bureau in terms of research and scholarship in general. The Department of History, also in Bayero University, Kano, Yusuf Maitamasli University, Kano State Censorship Board, NOGDA, and so on and so forth. Mr. Speaker, let me say that all the other groups have already been engaged, specifically on the upgrade and renovation of largely being carried out in all the parastatals under the Ministry of Tourism and Culture. Mr. Speaker, government has also constructed and upgraded housing indigenous craft shops, traditional cuisines restaurants, public relaxation area, children playground, and additional monuments that portray the rich history and cultural heritage of the good people of Kano State. I will not fail to mention the revival of many cultural groups and associations that reflect the diverse Nigerian ethnic groups residing in Kano through registrations and invitations to participate in our festival and cultural activities. On environment and sanitation, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, in an effort to safeguard our environment against erosion and degradation of land, government has planted over 2 million trees across the state, and we urge everyone to plant at least one or more in his or her area of domicile. We are determined to ensure the planted trees are properly taken care of and nursed while we continue to plant more. Kano, as a densely populated city, we are mindful of the heap of refuse that may litter our streets if left unchecked. However, we have continued and instituted the last Saturday of every month to be a sanitation day when we remain at home to ensure the cleanliness of our environment before proceeding for the business of the day. Remasav has also been collected and disposed over 60,000 tons of solid waste within the metropolis, the repair of 23 refuse collection tippers, 6 bucket lifters, 3 tractors, and 2 tricycles have been invaluable in our cleaning effort across the metropolitan local governments. Mr. Speaker, may I at this juncture call on every one of us to have a positive change of attitude in how we dump our refuse and solid waste. That is the sure way we can free ourselves from the hazards posed by it. On justice, Mr. Speaker, this administration is not oblivious to the contribution given by the judiciary in ensuring justice and sanity in the state, including its fight against corrupt practices. Cognizance of these critical roles, we will continue to be committed to protecting its independence and promoting its prestige. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, you may recall that in line with our reform agenda, a number of bills were prepared by the Ministry of Justice and sent to this esteemed House for passage into laws. Alhamdulillah, one of those bills was the Public Health Security Bill, which was passed in the current fiscal year, and as a result of that, Kano became the first state in the whole country to adopt such comprehensive sub-national health security legislation. This crucial legislation is designed to fortify the state's capabilities in preventing, detecting, responding to, recovering from, and preparing for epidemic. Mr. Speaker, on security, recognizing the importance of security as enabler for attaining our development objectives, our administration has continued to provide logistic support to all the security agencies operating in the state with a view to guaranteeing the safety of our people. The rising wave of kidnapping, banditry, and pawn snatching nowadays points to the need to scale up efforts in that direction. It may therefore interest the Honorable House to note that owing to some measures we have been taking since we assumed office, Kano State is now enjoying an enviable position of peace and safety, and this we hope to be sustained through all possible means so that our commercial activities will be restored and the state can remain as a destination of choice for investors to come and invest. We believe this will lead to employment generation, poverty reduction, and wealth creation among our people, especially youths, which are the major desires of our administration. Mr. Speaker, I emphasize that this is not just a mere political utterance. It is something that is being implemented. We have already started reaping its fruits of success and will continue to do more. We will continue to tackle any act of insecurity in the state by working closely with the security agencies to protect lives and the properties of our people. To this end, we created a new Ministry of Internal Security and Special Services and appointed a competent person, a retired Army General, to head that ministry. It is interesting to mention here that the ministry is working so diligently to ensure security and safety of our citizens in the state, in line with the present administration's policy objective. On water supply and rural development, Mr. Speaker, to improve coverage, quality and efficiency of water supply in the state, our administration has endeavored to supply more than 60% of water needs of its people, as against the only 20 attained during the immediate past administration in the state. Government spends no fewer than 1.2 billion naira on monthly basis to provide potable drinking water in the state. The expenditure breakdown is 400 million on diesel on monthly basis, 387 million on chemicals, while 280 million is being spent on settling electricity bills. Other undertakings in this sector include pipeline reticulation at Enshana and Ngorim, the cost of 116 million, repair of water supply project at Government House at 126.9 million, rehabilitation of Bagauda Dam in Bebeji local government carried out at 21 million, completion of rehabilitation of hydrological office complex at Chalawa 54 million, procurement of 5 number dump trucks for Reka at the cost of 455 million naira. On transport development, Mr. Speaker, transportation sector is an enabler for boosting economic growth also, with potentials for sustaining the state's economy, facilitating jobs opportunities and cost of mobility, as well as eliminating delay in the movement of goods and services. Conscious of this, we allocated the sum of 4.8 billion to the sector in the outgoing fiscal year, and that enabled us to purchase and repair some vehicles and undertook the construction of ultra-modern terminals, as well as provision of parking lots at strategic places. Mr. Speaker, as part of the ongoing transport reforms, the state is in touch with many development partners in and outside the country for collaboration. The state has also established some new agencies responsible for urban transport reforms in line with global best practices. Mr. Speaker, our commitment to repositioning the state for maximum productivity and the drive to create an enabling environment for private sector participation in the state transport space remains critical for the overall economic growth of the state. We therefore remain resolute to ensure that Kano State's transportation sector is a symbol of economic prosperity of the state, as it is assuming the status of a mega city. Mr. Speaker, the climate change is real. The state government is committed to the provision of public transportation, which are environmentally friendly. We are ever ready to key into the presidential initiative on compressed natural gas (CNG) by the federal government. In the area of water transportation, the state government is intensifying efforts in the provision of all safety measures to protect the lives and property of the populace, particularly those that rely on water transportation. The state government is intensifying effort in the area of rehabilitation and upgrading of motor parks. It is also worthy to mention here that the Federal Ministry of Transportation has selected Kano State for the construction of modern bus terminal MBT in the whole northwest geopolitical zone. The state will make the maximum use of this infrastructure for multimodal transportation system. The provision of Kano Maradi rail line will also avail the state with the opportunity to key into this project for maximum utilization for the movement of goods and the passengers as well. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, it is worthy to mention again here that our aspiration in the transportation sector is to promote economic integration, not only in northern Nigeria, but the Sahel and the ECOWAS region. On women, youths, and people with special needs. Mr. Speaker, the spirit of entrepreneurship runs in every citizen of Kano. Our administration will therefore continue to encourage this spirit and will empower this important segment of our population, that is women, youths, and those with special needs, with affordable capital to help their businesses thrive and become successful entrepreneurs. General empowerment. Government provides 216 million naira on monthly basis to 5,200 women, with each beneficiary receiving a token amount of 50,000 as capital. We are determined to continue with the empowerment initiative until the last day of this administration by the grace of Allah. Similarly, we have recently empowered 465 street hawkers with capital of 50,000 naira each, which amounts to a total of about 23,250,000 naira. This program is also going to be sustained as more hawkers from across the 44 local government areas of the state will continue to be selected to benefit from this program. Other significant undertakings achieved in the sector include domestication of national alternative care guidelines for children. The ultimate goal is to improve the well-being of children that are placed under alternative care, orphans, neglected, abandoned, and deserted, as well as children in institutional care, among others. On information, in a bid to keep our people abreast with our developmental strides, the Ministry of Information has continued with its statutory role of information dissemination and public enlightenment in respect of policies, actions, and programs emanating from the government. To sustain this, the Kano State government had expanded huge amount in its skills to achieve maximum media coverage to reach out to all hooks and crannies of the state. Mr. Speaker, government has also concluded all arrangements to reconstruct the recently vandalized government printing press, which suffered colossal loss, destruction at the hands of some miscreants during the end bad governance protest. Plans have been made after completing the reconstruction works to furnish the destroyed printing press offices with the state-of-the-art equipment, along with other state-owned media agencies for optimum operation. All religious affairs and special duties, Hizbah has been doing a wonderful job after successfully conducting the best organized ceremony of mass wedding last year, sponsored by the Kano State government. It didn't rest on its oars, but went ahead to ensure those marriages and any other one-person challenges are reconciled. Therefore, marital conciliations among couples have continued to yield fruitful results. 1,115 cases were treated, including marriage disputes, rape cases, theft, and other frictions, some of which were referred to courts of law or law enforcement agencies for appropriate actions. Special operations have also continued to be carried out on a regular basis. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, Kano State has been known for its commitment and always in the forefront to discharge our religious obligations. As government, we have done what it takes to meet the expectations of our people in that regard. Government has committed the sum of 45,500,000 to produce Islamic calendars 1446 after Hijrah. Also, Mr. Speaker, in order to effectively control and coordinate the operations of Sangaya schools in the state, a comprehensive database tagged Sangaya Management Information System has been developed and domiciled at the Ministry of Religious Affairs. The system enables government to acquire credible statistical data on all Al-Majris, Sangayu, and Al-Rammas that include their full addresses, states of origin, and duration of stay in a particular location within the state. Mr. Speaker, government has also been supporting various religious organizations through extending financial assistance, building and renovation of Islamia and Sangaya schools, including purchase of land for building a new or expanding an extant school. This in addition to granting financial gesture to individuals or foundations during religious festivities such as Maulud, Salah festivals, and Musabaka. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, on youth and sports, this administration has always aligned itself with the cause of the youth. In fact, they largely formed its campaign base, knowing fully well that sports is central to their day-to-day engagements. We embarked on massive renovation of Sani Abacha Stadium at Gopalmata. We have also distributed varieties of sport kits to over 600 youth clubs across the state. Similarly, in our effort to encourage self-employment among youth, we selected 2,000 young men with flair for entrepreneurship and offered them training on POS business. Mr. Speaker, we will continue to hold the youth in high esteem in this administration because it is their government, and it is also for this and many other reasons that we relax the multiple tax imposed on them by the previous administration, especially the tricycle operators added to so. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, let me at this juncture gladly inform our teeming youth that the much awaited Youth Bill 2024 has been developed, and with the usual kind support of the Honorable House, it is going to be realized in no distant future by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. On service delivery, Mr. Speaker, this administration recognizes the contribution given by the workers in the state. Hence, it holds them in high esteem and will continue to ensure prompt payment of their salaries, pensions, and gratuities, as well as provide recognition for high productivity. We have deliberately taken steps to avoid the lapses and maladministration witnessed in the last 8 years of the former government. Therefore, we intend to make the public service efficient and effective to meet the challenges of good governance as well as boost the morale of workers. In view of the foregoing, I'm happy to see that 71,000 has been approved for the implementation across the state as minimum wage, effective from this month of November 2024. As a result of the salary increase, the sum of 6 billion will be added onto the state payroll. Similarly, government is determined to continue providing appropriate training and retraining for workers in line with our policy of human capital development by the grace of Allah. Highlights of the 2025 revenue and expenditure estimates. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the size of the proposed 2025 budget is 549 billion 100 I'm sorry for the interruption. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the size of the proposed 2025 budget is 549 billion 160 million 417,663 naira. The capital component is 312 billion 634 million 912,672 naira 18 kobo, while the recurrent expenditure is set at 238 billion 525 million 504,990 naira 82 kobo. The 2025 budget, when approved, is projected to have a ratio of capital to the current of 57 to 43% respectively. Let me say, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, that most of the capital spending will be in the social and economic sectors, which will be to the tune of 461 billion 447 million 963,240.86 kobo. Mr. Speaker, permit me to therefore present the breakdown of both the recurrent and the capital allocations based on sectors. Number one, education, education, education. This sector has been allocated the sum of 168 billion 350 million 802,346 naira 19 kobo. And still this, just like last year, this year, 2024, 2025 fiscal year, education sector is receiving 31% of the total estimate. Health sector, 90 billion 600 million 835,766 naira 48 kobo, representing 16.5% of the total budgetary allocation. On agriculture, the ministry, the sector is receiving the sum of 21 billion 38 million 199,190 naira 76 kobo, representing 3.83% of the total budget. Infrastructural development is receiving 70 billion 682 million 843,744 naira 15 kobo, representing 12.87% of the total budget. Commerce, or we can say investment, commerce, industry and tourism is receiving the sum of 3 billion 887 million 338,871 naira 45 kobo, representing 1.22% of the total budget allocation. Environment and sanitation is receiving the sum of 15 billion 523 million 154,078 naira 47 kobo, representing 2.83%. Governance institutions, 98 billion 242 million 89,019 naira 58 kobo, representing 17.57%. Security, justice, and emergency services. 23 billion 457 million 527,026 naira 6 kobo, representing 4% of the total budget. Water supply and rural development, 27 billion 235 million 112,601 naira 5 kobo, representing 4.96% of the total budget. Transport development, 12 billion 805 million 155,000, representing 2.33%. Women, youths, and people with special needs, 17 billion 337 million 360,000 naira, representing 3.15%. Total 549 billion 160 million 417,663, representing 100%. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the breakdown above clearly indicates that the priorities of our administration in 2025 are human capital and infrastructural development. However, we have pledged to increase access to quality education despite the mega resources. In line with this, I want to inform this respected chamber that we are considering the resuscitation of Kano educational development support. Kano education development support will be resuscitated under the Ministry of Education. It is our plan to develop it into a functional agency that will support the funding of education specifically for basic, upper basic, and post-basic education. On the other hand, trying to draw from TED fund counter funding by keeping to the terms for our tertiary institutions. I therefore believe the legislature will give the necessary legal teeth in fine-tuning its edict for full implementation. Proposed legislations and amendments in 2025. Mr. Speaker, you are fully aware that a number of policies and reforms that we are implementing require legislations or amendments to extant laws. Therefore, in the next fiscal year, by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we intend to bring before this respected honorable house an array of bills for passage into law. The proposed bills include that of Education Trust, and Education Trust Bill, Security Trust Bill, Marriage Control Bill, Civil Service Bill, Kano State Motor Vehicle Administration Agency Bill, Social Protection Bill, Kano State Equity and Social Inclusion Bill, Kano State Censorship Board Bill, State Emergency Management Agency Bill, Kano State Information Technology Development Agency Bill, Kano State Digital and E-Governance Bill, Small and Medium Enterprises Bill, Public Complaint and Anti-Corruption Bill, Kano State Will Bill, Water Users Association Bill, Gari College of Education Bill, Audubako Polytechnic Bill, Rabi Musa Konkoso College of Arts, Science and Remedial Studies Bill, Aminu Kano College of Education and Legal Studies Bill, Pension Law, Ketpon Bill, Proceeds of Crime Bill, Creation of Deputy Managing Directors at 10 MDS Bill. Mr. Speaker, it is our belief that implementing these reforms and policies will improve the governance of the state, thereby facilitating achieving the development agenda we put forward in the forthcoming fiscal year. Conclusion. Mr. Speaker, our respected honorable members, I thank you very much for your time. The budget is intended to help all of us realize our collective dreams and aspirations for our dear state. It is our belief that the full and proper implementation of the budget's provisions would result to high economic prosperity and reduce dependency on grants coming from the Federation account. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, these brave steps taken to invest in human capital and infrastructural development will set stage for faster and sustained economic growth and development in the state. The 2025 budget goes further to support areas that will deliver inclusive growth, especially in commerce, manufacturing, as well as agriculture and its value chain. And this is the anchor for our quest to revive our moribund industries and consequent prosperity. The achievements so far recorded, despite our limited resources, could not have been possible without the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is by His grace that we have attained this level of excellent performance. We thank Allah for His blessings upon us and also pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will continue to help us to achieve our singular goal of making Kano much more greater and taking it to more enviable heights. I therefore crave your kind approval of these estimates and your support for its implementation. We promise to peacefully implement the provisions of this budget for the general good and well-being of our people. We will not relent in our resolve to alleviate poverty and restore hope, create wealth, generate employment, stimulate agriculture, improve electricity, and maximize the overall well-being of our people. I therefore beseech you to hastily consider and approve the 2025 budget proposal as I presented to you today. Let me also, at this juncture, commend the good people of Kano State for the cooperation and support they accorded that led to the conduct of the most peaceful local government elections ever held in the history of Kano State. The election was held on Saturday, the 26th of October, 2024. This, I must say, was achieved despite an insignificant number of security personnel deployed to the elections. To me, it is a testimony to the fact that the people of Kano State are in full support of the policies of this administration. And we hope that the elected officials, from the chairman down to the councillors, will work assiduously to meet the expectations of their electorates. It is equally hope that they will accord a special recognition and special respect to all the members of the Kano State House of Assembly, especially from their own respective constituencies. We are determined to work together for the collective good of our people at the grassroots level. Moreover, a word of appreciation to the staff of the Ministry of Planning and Budget and the Directorate of Research and Documentation, who have tirelessly worked long hours to ensure that this budget and supporting documents are in tandem with the policy thrust of this administration. Once again, I salute the State House of Assembly and the good people of Kano State for their indelible, incredible support and goodwill to our administration since assumption of office. Let me also seize this opportunity on a personal basis to also appreciate Mr. Speaker and all the House leaders, as well as all the members, for their dexterity, for their trust and cooperation, to me in particular, to the good people of Kano State, as well as to humanity in general. I must say that I remain committed to serving everybody in the state. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to guide us in the right path. It is therefore with great pleasure and a deep sense state, which I tagged as budget of hope, human capital, and economic development. Wassalamu alaikum.